Taste Buddies, and welcome back to the Taste Buddies Club. Today, we're going to can some yummy, homegrown pears. Let's get started. The first thing that we want to do is get our pressure cooker and place our wire seating rack on the inside of it. The next thing that we want to do is get our new or clean mason jars. Remove the lids. Fill about halfway with water. Place the jars on top of the wire rack that is inside of the pot. We're going to take our lids, detach them, and just toss them inside of the pot as well. And then we're going to fill our pressure cooker with water. Be sure not to cover your mason jars. Once you have your pressure cooker filled with water, go ahead and walk it over to your stove. Inside of our pressure cooker, we have our water. See the fill line? It's about halfway full. We have our lids and we have our mason jars. And we're going to heat that on medium-high heat. While our pressure cooker is sterilizing our mason jars, we'll go ahead and get our syrup prepared. In a different boiler, we're going to use 3 cups of bottled water and 1 cup of sugar. And just sprinkle your sugar into your bottled water that's in your pot. And then we'll take our pot over to the stove and heat it on low. Once you have your sugar and water in your pot, just go ahead and stir it. You'll continue to stir your sugar in your water until it's completely dissolved. You don't want to see any lumps in that sugar. And we have it heating up on low. See how that sugar has completely dissolved in that water? That's exactly how you want that to look. And just keep it heating on low. And it's not very low, it's just on low. It's on number 2. While our syrup is heating and our mason jars are sterilizing, we'll go ahead and prepare our acid neutralizing agent. And what we're using for that is water, 6 cups of water, and 3/4 cups of lemon juice. We're going to stir that up. And then we'll go ahead and just sit it to the side. While our mason jars are sterilizing and our syrup is heating up, we'll go ahead and start peeling our pears. And you can use just a regular fruit peeler to do so. And you just peel all of the skin off of your pears. Once you have all of the skin peeled from your pear, go ahead and rinse your pear off with cold water. Once you've rinsed your pear, just take a look around your pear, and if you see any spots that aren't white where skin has been left behind, or maybe there's like a little bruise on the pear, just go ahead and cut that off. And then once you have your pear perfectly white all around, go ahead and cut your pear in half. Once you have your pear cut in half, you will use a paring knife, a melon baller, a pointed spoon, or a knife to go ahead and remove the core and the stem. You will take your knife and insert it right around the edge and move it right around up against the stem. And then you'll do the same on the other side. Just move it right around and up against the stem. And then you'll just go ahead and pull that core out. And then the excess green and stem, just make sure you go ahead and just peel that out. And then just clean the balance of that core out. Then just give it another little cold water rinse. And then immediately drop it into your acidic neutralizing soaking agent. Now we're ready to remove our sterilized mason jars from the heat. So we'll transfer the entire pot very carefully over to our preparation area and sit the pot on top of some thick towels or pot holders. We'll use our jar funnel to lift our mason jars out of the hot water and then just place those on the towels. We will use our magnetic lid gripper to remove the lids from the hot water. Then we'll put our pressure cooker in the sink so that it's out of our way. We'll use our jar grippers to lift the mason jars and pour the water out of them. And then you can use your hands or a fork to place your pears inside of your mason jars. And if they're too big to go inside of the jar, just go ahead and cut it in a third or a fourth. Then just make sure you get as many in there as you can. Press them down in there. We're going to pour the water out that's in our pressure cooker. Wipe your pressure cooker out. Put your wire seating rack back in the bottom. This time fill your pressure cooker up to the max line with water. While that is filling up with water, we'll go ahead and grab our pot that has our syrup brewing in it. We'll take a ladle and we will carefully pour. We're supposed to have a funnel, but the kit that they sent to me is missing the funnel. We'll pour our syrup over our pears. And only pour it till about that first line on your mason jar. And then we'll take some vinegar and a new white cloth. Dap it with the vinegar. Wipe the rim of your mason jar. Once you have your syrup poured over your pears, you want to take your stick and remove any bubbles. And you can see bubbles in there, and you would just move that around inside of the jar until all of the bubbles are gone. And once that happens, you may need to add a little bit more syrup. Then you would take your seal and pop it on. And then you would take your sealing ring and screw that on top. And then we'll take our jar of pears and sit them on our rack inside of our pressure cooker. We want to make sure that the water is covering our mason jars. And now we're going to heat these jars to high. And we're just going to let it boil for 25 minutes with the lid on. We're going to let that come to a boil on high for 25 minutes. Now that our time is up on our pressure cooker, we're going to go ahead and turn the heat off. Before we can remove the lid from the pressure cooker, we have to release some of the pressure. So you can take a pen or some type of utensil and just press that down. Tab is down. We can unlock it and open it away from you because you don't want to get all that steam in your face. We will take our pot back to our prepping area. Once back in the prepping area, we will use our jar grabbers to remove our mason jars from the hot water. Place them on a towel. We will let them sit here and cool for about 12 hours, and then we'll be able to enjoy from now until next year. Thanks for watching. Have a good day.